Hello, everyone. Welcome to Discussing Many Things. I'm one of your hosts, Abel, and here we have.
I'm Spencer.
And Thomas.
And we're all
Welcome to
here.
the podcast.
We're going to discuss a lot of things. Okay.
Yes,
Spencer,
yes,
We're gonna
yes.
drop
Mostly
some
related to
nice
movies.
words.
It's okay. So to set things off, I want to talk about movie sequels. And I know that there's been a lot, especially with things like Marvel, Star Wars, kind of dominating the theaters at this point in time. I'm wondering what you guys think the best sequel to any movie of all time is.
Terminator 2.
The best second installment.
Empire is up there.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't think Empire is because the
Spider-Man 2.
the first Star Wars is already so good, and the second one, I don't think it's. I think A New Hope is better than Empire.
I think that's a very unique opinion, and I think it's a very
I don't
not-
think it's unique at all.
not true opinion. But
All right. Well, I think Terminator 2 is up there.
I would agree.
Okay. Well, when I'm talking about a best sequel, I guess the difference that has to be made is like, are you talking about like the best continuation of a story or the best overall movie that was the second installment in the series? Because to me, Terminator 2 is a really good movie, but it's not a great sequel because it doesn't really do a lot for the story of Terminator.
I strongly disagree. I think
Really?
that it does a great job because in the first movie, you've got like John Connor, but then you have Sarah Connor, who's like the main like protagonist, I guess, with like I don't remember the helper dude's name, and you have the Terminator, which is Arnold, and he's coming to kill them. And then in the second one, Arnold is on their side. Then there's the T-1000, which is like it's advanced, different technology, it can like liquidate and shit. It does crazy stuff, and now the bad guy's the good guy. And what is that noise?
It's my brother's 3D printer.
That's absolutely atrocious.
Okay. Anyways, have you guys seen the Godfather movies?
No.
No.
Okay, great. Well, I would have said this. I would have said the second one in that trilogy, but just for the sake of good discussion, I'm going to agree with Thomas and say that Empire is the best sequel.
I'm actually going to present a different one before you double down there.
Okay.
Are you thinking?
No, Abel, probably not. I'm going to let you go first, actually.
The Dark Knight.
That's a great option. Very good.
That's a really good option.
Definitely better than what I was going to say, which was 22 Jump Street, which I think is the best self-aware meta creation of a corny second installment. I think the way that they make the same movie twice without it being boring is truly an art form.
I really like those movies. I like those directors, dude. Did you know that they're the same dudes who made Lego Movie?
That is amazing.
Phil Lord and Chris Miller. They're real funny.
What's that movie that was just like Adam Sandler and all of his friends just made a movie?
Grown Ups.
Was that Grown Ups? Yeah, Grown Ups 2. That's the best sequel of all time.
I find that pedantic.
It continues the story. Shaq plays a cop in it. I think my argument's been made.
Okay, you know what? I don't think you need to talk about this anymore.
Okay, I think the Dark Knight is a good choice to be made. I still think that Empire is a better sequel. I think the Dark Knight's a better movie, but I think the Empire is a better sequel just because it continues the story a lot better. I feel like Dark Knight just kind of threw away Scarecrow's whole storyline and it was a great movie in itself, but in like the fact that it's sandwiched between the other two is it takes away from it for me. I don't know why.
Spencer,
Whereas I feel Empire is what?
Have you listened to the Nerd Rant by Dosa Buckley?
No.
His paid stuff. He has one video or one of those like rant things. It's about The Dark Knight and how it's the worst in the trilogy because Batman Begins is all about the League of Shadows, and then The Dark Knight it's about the Joker, and then in The Dark Knight Rises it's about the League of Shadows again. And I think that's an interesting point, how it's like Dark Knight's kind of a detour, even if it is like objectively the best movie.
Right. No, I agree with that. That's kind of what I'm trying to say here. It doesn't really, it doesn't. I've never really considered the Dark Knight trilogy to be like a continuous story. I feel like you can watch them out of order and it still makes sense.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like in the Dark Knight Rises, Joker is not even like mentioned. Like they don't even talk about the whole thing that happened with him.
Because they were just suicide.
Like literally, you could. Okay, I'm fairly confident that if you put Batman Begins and The Dark Knight Rises together and just skipped The Dark Knight, it would make complete sense.
I think it would be a better series, honestly.
Yeah.
Like The Dark Knight is amazing, but like they should have maybe worked on the trilogy more instead of having.
I feel like The Dark Knight is like the polar opposite of what The Last Jedi is in a lot of ways. Like they just completely did a detour on the story they were building, but in the Dark Knight's case it really works, and they created like this one of the best superhero movies of all time, like a genre defining superhero movie. But in The Last Jedi's case, they kind of just made a big mess that was harder to clean up in terms of plot lines.
I feel like The Dark Knight is a detour and The Last Jedi is a giant contradiction, where it like kind of goes back on what the other movies were saying, especially The Force Awakens. And it was
I agree with that.
Pissing all over them. Whereas The Dark Knight,
I feel like JJ was I just feel like JJ was trying to set up a lot of plot lines in that movie that were that just didn't get continued by Ryan.
Well, yeah, they were very unfulfilled, and they were pretty intentionally unfulfilled by Rian Johnson. He really shot down the Rey's parents mystery. And, I mean, as much as people didn't like the fact that a lot of those J.J. Abrams storylines were unfulfilled, you have to admit the idea of that mystery box in every single story gets kind of fucking old. I feel like a lot of stories are best just, like, told. Like, you tell them with a beginning, middle, and end, and you figure out the details instead of trying to play them for shock value.
I mean, but I still love J.J. Abrams. He's one of my favorite directors. I like
him too.
You guys have seen Super 8, right?
Yes, that's a good movie.
That movie is incredible. I love that movie, dude. And it's just like pure J.J. Abrams. Like you can tell that it's just like kind of about him, because it's like just like a bunch of fucking nerds in middle school making movies with like zombie movies with like, and they're like really stupid, but like they just look like a lot of fun. And then there's like a giant alien, and then there's a lot of lens flares, and that's J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams.
So,
of all time, The Last Jedi.
More on Star Wars later, but for now, we're going to be talking about my next topic of choice, which is we're going to all be giving our thoughts on Marvel's Phase 4. And I'm going to list off what that is right now. We have Black Widow, which of course has been delayed, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Eternals, Shang-Chi, and The Legend of the Ten Rings, WandaVision, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, Loki, What If, Hawkeye, and Thor: Love and Thunder. And 5 of these, I'm going to let you guys know, are Disney Plus shows.
Yeah, I'm aware of which ones are Disney Plus.
Okay.
And which ones are not. So let's just start with Black Widow, which was pushed back. It was supposed to come out May 1st, but now it's coming out in November.
Mm-hmm.
I was really pumped for this movie. I was like pretty excited to see it, and I still am. but less so because it's coming out in 6 months instead of one. And
Yes.
has David Harbour, who's always a joy to see. Did you know he was in Suicide Squad?
Who was he?
He was just like a politician in that one room where they have that one enchantress scene. Like they're just
Huh.
like in some room and he's in there and I was like, weird, that's the guy from Stranger Things because that came out like right after Stranger Things came out.
Hmm.
And I also just admitted that I saw Suicide Squad in theaters, so
Thought you were gonna get away with that.
I walked into that movie, there's no way it could be worse than Batman v Superman. Well,
So,
you did it.
to me, this phase seems super underwhelming. I feel like this is a lot like phase two in that they're just introducing a lot of like cleanup stuff so that they can just release a crazy phase five. It's a lot what they did. It's like phase two was like both the Iron Man sequels and like the Thor sequel, the Captain America sequel, Guardians, and Ant-Man. So like they're continuing some stories and then they're also introducing some heroes. And I think this is kind of what they're doing here, but like phase five, like in this phase, you don't see a new Guardians, you don't see a new Black Panther, you don't see a new Avengers, you don't see Fantastic Four, X-Men, like you don't see
Black Panther
what?
2's Black Panther 2's not in phase 4.
No, it's not listed officially by Marvel. Unless they do some surprise release, which I doubt is going to happen now.
I thought it was going to come out in 2022.
It's not on their list of phase 4. Marvel's like San Diego Comic-Con phase 4 list is what I'm going off of. And I also forgot to mention that Blade has been announced. We don't know. It's not really confirmed when. I feel like, but I just feel like this is not going to be any sort of revolutionary phase. Like phase 3 was when Black Panther was introduced, and that just kind of like that was a Best Picture nominee, and like Infinity War and Endgame, and like Thor Ragnarok, like all these Marvel movies that are like defining of the whole MCU.
Well,
but then what do you remember from phase 2? Like, I don't know, Winter Soldier?
Iron Man 3 is a banger. That movie's insane.
oh
Yeah,
my
but
God,
like,
I'm not gonna have the Iron Man 3 conversation right now. I don't want to.
Okay, that's a completely different topic that we will have to go into later. But
that movie's so dumb. Okay, I'm
do
sorry.
you guys think phase 4 is going to be good? Do you think it's going to be underwhelming?
Well,
I guess that's kind of what
Fun. I think it's going to be
the
really
thing.
fun.
Yeah, I can't help but feel like the people who enjoy Marvel movies are going to enjoy them thoroughly or enjoy the whole phase thoroughly. There's going to be a lot of good cinema that comes out from them, but at the same time, we have to consider the fact that the last 10 years, superhero movies have been kind of riding the same wave that Westerns rode when they were super popular. And these movies are, to some respect, a fad. And they've defined a decade, but I don't know if they're going to, having come to a culmination after 18 films, right? 18 films. I don't know if they're going to ever be at the same level that they were. But, I'm perfectly happy to be proved wrong, but I feel like if there was ever going to be a moment where they sort of slumped down and became more of a commercial entity and not something that was so culturally defining, it would be now.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I think this is their way of laying the groundwork that's going to become another huge event like Infinity War. Whether or not it's going to be as popular as Infinity War was, like Infinity. I'm giving this topic because I'm pretty sure I saw Endgame trending on Twitter today, and I know a lot of people were talking about that for some reason. Like everyone knew about this movie. Like everyone knows about Thanos, which is a really strange thing to think about.
Of all time.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I'm wondering if in phase 5, we're going to get Fantastic Four, we're going to get X-Men, and they're going to start building this big storyline that's...
X-Men.
You just came. You literally just came.
I love X-Men, dude. I love it.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, weren't we supposed to get a Channing Tatum Gambit movie? Wasn't that in the works?
Development since like 2013. It's never coming.
Great. I don't even think he'd be a good Gambit personally. I'd rather see like Johnny
You would
Depp as
be.
Gambit. As weird as that sounds.
Name one. When's the last good Johnny Depp movie?
God.
Exactly. Moving on.
Let me just look. Wait, hold on. Let me just look up the Johnny Depp movies because really, in the 2000s, all that I can think of is the Pirates movies, and I actually like the first three Pirates movies. Oh yeah, he played a Native American in The Lone Ranger, which was not cool.
Rango.
Rango. He was in Sweeney Todd, which I thought
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Oh, that wasn't 2010s though. That was 2005.
Oh, Dark Shadows was kind of good.
I heard that was really bad.
Okay, great. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Public Enemies, which I did not see, unfortunately.
Didn't Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas come out in like the 90s?
It was 98. So before the Pirates movies, admittedly, but
I just want to talk about how the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, one of the rumored directors is Sam Raimi.
Really?
Yeah. I think he's like not confirmed, so it's not on the Wikipedia page, but I was reading about it last night because last night I watched the first Evil Dead for the first time.
How was that?
I did not know it was NC-17 until I turned it on. It's a really weird movie. It's really short. There's a really weird scene that's like I don't really want to talk about it here, but there's some crazy shit in it, and it looks like so corny. It's so cheesy, tongue in cheek. Like they know that it's kind of like stupid, but like I don't know. I liked it, and so I think that if Sam Raimi directs like a kind of horror influenced Doctor Strange sequel, I think that could be really cool. Because Doctor Strange 1 it's just like okay. It's like perfectly
It's forgettable as hell. Like it's very forgettable.
The CG elements are pretty cool in it, but then like I can't. I know Doctor Strange. I know Rachel McAdams or whatever her name is in it. I know that there's a guy named Wong who shows up in Infinity War, and I know Tilda Swinton plays the Ancient One, and that's all I remember. And Dormammu's in it. That's right.
Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
I'm really glad you said that, and not one of the many variations of that I've seen.
Thor.
Okay, but
Four, dude.
Full 180. I think the best Johnny Depp movie of this millennium is Rango. Personally, I really like that movie. It came out in 2011, like after all of his Pirates movies, or at least after all the good ones. So most recently, I think Rango. I like Rango. I know Rango gets like a weird rep, but you know,
Rango's a good movie. Rango's great.
It's a fun movie. It's a fun movie.
I think his best role in the past 20 years has been in the movie Sherlock Gnomes as the titular character.
Oh God, I forgot he played that. Johnny Depp I feel like he just isn't the best voice actor. Like he's got a distinct voice, but I don't know if he's really like a animated character type guy.
You guys remember that movie Mordecai that he did?
I
never saw it, but I remember that it had.
Let me look that up because that sounds very vividly familiar.
It has a 5.5.
Yes, I do remember this.
I'm scrolling through his.
I didn't see it.
He was in Into the Woods, dude.
He was the wolf.
Yeah, I actually really like that movie.
I'm scrolling through his IMDb page, and apparently he played the voice of Edward Scissorhands on Family Guy when they had a bit about Edward Scissorhands in an episode. It was very short. I remember it.
So wait, Abel, did you liked Into the Woods?
Yeah, we have it on Blu-ray.
That's a pretty good Sondheim musical.
I just really like it because it's basically like the Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame of like
fairy tale creatures.
It's cool. I like it.
Yeah. You should watch some more musicals.
Like Annie.
Well, there's another musical like by the same guy that Johnny Depp is also in. Sweeney Todd.
I remember I heard about that movie because
He
people
plays the titular character, Sweeney Todd.
like they never advertised that it was a musical. They just
Yeah,
advertised
yeah.
it as a movie, and then people didn't go see it because they heard it was a musical. They should have just advertised it, like a musical, I guess.
Abel, did you ever see the musical Annie live?
He came and saw me.
Yes.
Spencer, you ruined
When
it.
I was in
gonna
it.
make I was gonna make a joke.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Anyways,
I hate
anyways,
You had
Okay,
to be so selfish.
we are way over time.
we're a
Abel,
minute.
it's time for your trivia.
Abel's Trivia Corner. Welcome back, ladies and gents.
Welcome
Abel's
From that
to.
weird tangent. I don't even remember what the last topic was.
We're talking about Johnny Depp.
I guess we do discuss many things.
We do.
Anyway.
So
all right.
this is the first themed episode of
boy.
Abel's Trivia Corner. So you guys know I watched the Maze Runner movies, and then after that I watched the Divergent movies, and then after that
Oh,
I just finished
boy.
watching the Hunger Games movies. So these are all going to be Hunger Games
Jesus.
related questions.
Oh, all of them. Oh no.
But
Okay.
it's
Okay.
just as luck based as it was the last two times that we practiced this. So the first
Beautiful.
question. So this guy Francis Lawrence, I do not believe that he's related to Jennifer Lawrence in any way, but he directed Catching Fire and then both parts of the Mockingjay story, I guess. He's also a prolific pop music video director. So here are 4 pop songs, and he directed the music video for 3 of them, and one of them
Not one of them. Okay, yeah. I've heard of this guy
So-
actually.
which
Okay.
one of these videos did he not direct? Let's Get It Started by the Black Eyed Peas, Run the World Girls by Beyonce, Skater Boy with SK8ERBOI by Avril Lavigne, and Oops, I Did It Again by Britney Spears. Which one of these did he not direct?
Beyonce.
I'm gonna say Britney Spears.
Final answers?
Before we explain our answers, we need to. Okay, okay. Now that we've confirmed our final answers, what is your reasoning for your answer, Thomas? Because I don't know, but I made an educated guess.
She's the one that's like most dissimilar in her time period of fame to the rest of them.
What's your reasoning, Spencer?
I thought I actually said it for a similar reason. I'm pretty sure "Oops, I Did It Again" came out pretty far before the other ones. I'm not totally sure about that, but I know the Black Eyed Peas and "We Run the World" was like. I know this from like that Buckley video that it was a 2011 song.
Really?
And Black Eyed Peas, I know, were also popular around that time. And I don't really know a lot about Avril Lavigne. Like I know that song.
Well,
But I think Britney is the safe guess.
I'm just gonna say "Let's Get It Started" by the Black Eyed Peas came out in like 2003, I believe.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Skater Boy came out around there, but Spencer, you were correct. It was the Britney Spears video.
Shit!
Yes.
That was actually directed by a guy named Nigel Dick. So, all right.
Great.
So Spencer got a point. Thomas did not. Next question. So I'm gonna name 4 characters from the Hunger Games, and you're gonna tell me which one is not real.
I should do this one, okay. Is it all 3 movies?
Yeah, it's all of them.
Oh,
So,
shit. Okay.
we got yeah. So Plutarch Heavensby, Gilderoy.
Plutarch.
We got Plutarch Heavensby, Gilderoy Broomswitch, Hamish Abernathy, and Claudius Templesmith.
The second one, Gilderoy Broom Switch.
All right. Spencer?
I'm trying to. I feel like the ones that you said. Can you say their names again? Just one more time.
Plutarch Heavensby, Gilderoy Broomswitch, Hamish Abernathy, and Claudius Templesmith.
Okay. Thomas, what did you say?
The second one, Gilderoy Broomsmith. Or
Okay,
Switch.
I was gonna say that too.
Well,
I
sucks
think
for you.
no. Well, we can have the same answer.
Not in this game.
Wait, I didn't know that was
Yes,
the
you
rule.
can.
I know. I'm gonna say okay. I'm gonna say Gilderoy. My reasoning for that is that I know that's a Harry Potter character's name, Gilderoy Lockhart, and I don't know if Gilderoy's like a real name. I don't think it is.
It just is, I think. But no, I'm saying that because that was the only one I didn't recognize.
You really I recognize one of those characters.
No, I
Hamish.
recognized one too, but they didn't make my brain do the maybe that sounds right thing.
See, I thought
Spencer, you go.
the way I was initially thinking about it was like, which one of these is Abel gonna say with like the most ease? Because it's obvious that he'd say an answer with ease that he made up. But like I feel like there wasn't enough. I'm gonna say Gilderoy. I think that's the answer. The others
You
sound
guys-
like they could be Hunger Games characters.
It is
Okay, yeah.
Gilderoy. So
Yes.
Thomas at 1, Spencer at 2. And
Spencer,
moving
you
on,
need to stop taking my answers.
we're gonna do where does the Hunger Games take place? Is it the place called, it's like the fictional like area that's
You're
just now
breaking it up.
like former
Could you say again?
the former United States is where the Hunger Games takes place. What is the name
Yeah,
of the
like
new
all the
nation?
districts.
Panama,
Oh yeah.
Pandora, Panem, and Panseer.
Panam, dude. Panseer's a Pokemon from Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
Yeah,
I've been
yeah.
playing
I'm gonna
that
say
game.
I'm pretty sure it's Pan Am.
Fuck, this was an
It's
easy
not
one.
Panama.
So
It's not
late.
Panama. I don't know why they named it Panama. Pandora's Avatar and Panseer is a Pokemon, and it's not Heart Gold and Soul Silver. It's black and white.
Yes, it is. No,
No,
it's not.
I literally had a Panseer in black and white.
Oh,
They
you're
give
right.
you
I was
one.
playing X. I was playing X earlier. You're right. I was playing Heart Gold and Soul Silver after that.
Okay,
You're
well,
correct.
Tom,
It came
I'm
out
pretty
after
sure
Heart-
Thomas and I are both right. Abel.
All right, you're correct. That's what I said.
Great.
All right, next question. Josh Hutcherson, the guy who played Peeta in the Hunger
Peter,
Games, he was also he helped with motion capture for the main character in the Polar Express movie. That
God.
that character does not have a name in the movie, but he is credited as a certain name. What was his name in the credits? Was it Main Boy, Hero Boy, Lead Boy, or Dylan?
April, this is
I
the
love this.
farthest. This is the farthest you could get from a Hunger Games question.
That's a really good question.
I have absolutely no idea.
I want to say Hero Boy.
All right.
But
Hero
is he
Boy.
the hero? Like, what does he actually
Yes.
do in the movie?
Shut up! He saves Christmas, idiot.
Have you not seen Polar Express starring Tom Hanks as 4 different characters?
Hey, we got it.
Because the main character boy, the main character, he was helped out with mocap by Josh Hutcherson, but most of the mocap was done by Tom Hanks for the main
boy.
Yes. And he did
What?
the motion capture, and I think he did the dialogue for the train conductor and Santa.
How
And
did I not know that? How did I not know that he had no name in that movie?
I don't know, but you got to guess which one it was. So
Okay, well they wouldn't just give him a name in the credits. That wouldn't make sense. So it's got to be like, I don't think it. Okay, main boy sounds way too like it was just a complete afterthought. What was C again?
Lead boy.
Oh, Hero Boy sounds definitely like something they would put in the credits. Like if a kid were to read it, like you're the hero boy. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say Hero Boy. I honestly don't know. I feel like A and C are too similar, and D, I just don't think they'd give him a regular name that they never mentioned in the movie.
God damn it!
So
you guys
I'm gonna say
got it
B.
right again.
Spencer, I hate you.
That is Thomas. I provided reasoning.
Spencer, I knew it off the bat. I knew it 30 minutes before you did because I'm smarter than you and I have better intuition.
How did you know that?
Because I know Polar Express. I just figured it out. Okay, I can feel it.
Okay.
Oh,
We
did,
still
I
have
know the
podcast.
answer. I can
Santa
feel
just welcome to the North Pole, hero boy.
it.
No, he says, "Welcome to the North Pole, Dylan."
Dude, I always forget Zemeckis made this movie. Did you guys
All
know?
right.
Did you
Oh
guys
God,
know
yeah.
Robert Zemeckis is just completely racist? Not actually,
I
but
didn't know that.
Forrest Gump is full of racial subtleties.
All right.
Great.
Last question.
Okay, yes. Thomas, this is for the tie.
Yeah, because somebody doesn't get that speed matters.
All right.
What?
Woody Harrelson plays Hamish Abernathy in the Hunger Games movies. Which high school did he go to? Is it Pakistan High School,
Did you say
Mor-
Pakistan?
Pakistan High School, Morocco High School, Turkey High School, or Lebanon High School?
Morocco High School. I like Morocco High School.
Right?
I like Morocco High School.
Wait, hold on. Wait, just repeat them again.
Pakistan,
Yeah,
Morocco, Turkey, and Lebanon.
Okay, well, there's two ways to think about this. Either he went to high school in one of those foreign countries, or there's like a town in the US that also has one of those names. So like that's oh God.
Answer the question.
I'm good at this stuff, dude. This is a good question.
It is a great question.
I think I really don't think he went to high school in Africa or the Middle East. I really don't think he did. There's a lot of actors who I could see doing that. Like if you told me Sandra Bullock went to high school there, I would say like, okay, that makes sense. But
So 'cause
Woody
she's a woman.
Harrelson only plays like American characters. He always has
Spencer,
done
I
that.
can guarantee you're overthinking this.
Okay. Lebanon.
God damn it, Spencer. It was Lebanon High School. You've
Yeah.
got
Yes.
them
Yeah.
right.
Wait,
Lebanon.
where
I looked it up
where-
after I
Lebanon,
guessed.
Ohio.
Lebanon, Ohio. Yeah, Lebanon, Ohio.
is it actually?
Yes.
I knew it.
No, you looked it
Well,
up.
I did not know it. I did not know it.
I
but-
bet you looked it up.
Thomas,
I got
Thomas, what would I have to gain? There's
So you
literally you could not have possibly won on that question.
I know. I'm just giving you shit.
Listen.
I think he went to Pakistan High School, Pakistan, Ohio.
Okay, but like realistically, is there one high school in Lebanon? Like why would that
Hey,
be the
there's not one high school in Bellingham.
I went to
Yeah, but-
United States High School.
Yeah, but Thomas, Lebanon, Morocco, Pakistan, they're big countries. Bellingham is a fairly small town. It makes sense that there's
It
a
was in
Bellingham High School.
Ohio. What are you talking about?
Okay, we're
No,
gonna stop because we're
Okay,
waiting.
okay.
Spencer,
we're wasting
what's the
time. Next
topic?
topic.
Wait, hold on. I wanted to interject one thing.
Oh,
Brad
we're 3
Brad-
minutes over.
Brad Pitt went to high school at a place called Kickapoo High School.
That's just like a Native
That's-
American tribal name. It sounds like.
It just sounds like Kickapoo.
Spencer,
Abel, I'm pretty sure I guessed on all of those questions. I don't know
You
how
just-
I got those right. What?
you're
What?
cutting out.
Hello?
You got every single one of them right, Spencer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're defeated this round. Thomas got 3, so I gotta make these a little bit more challenging next week. So.
I don't think you need to make them more challenging. I just think you need
you
to
just
make
won
them.
all of them.
No, okay, Abel. I just like talked out like how I would do it if that was a multiple choice test. Like I did not know any of those
I know,
except for Pan Am. That was the only easy one.
but you're good.
Okay.
So I gotta challenge you more.
We're gonna move on. The next topic of discussion, I'm going to ask you guys, and I'll do it myself too, but we're gonna rank the Star Wars movies. And I've given you very little time to prepare for this, so this is gonna be like off the bat. What are your rank the
Well,
what are there? 11?
Yeah,
Counting
there are
Solo
11.
and Rogue One.
Would you be mad that I did it if I told you I did it sometime during this conversation? Because I knew
I
this was
do
gonna.
not care. I do
Okay,
not
Okay,
care.
well, I have
you guys do it
mine.
in minutes.
I have mine right
We'll
now.
we'll let Thomas go first. I've allotted 20 minutes to this. We'll let Thomas go first. We'll talk about his ranking and discuss what changes we would make. Just because he's the
Yeah,
only one who prepared.
yeah. So I just wanna I'm gonna give you guys the overall framework I kind of went at this with when I sat down and considered it. And I tried to balance some level of cinematic objectivity for what it's worth, but that doesn't really exist anyway. So I also tried to go with what I would most prefer to sit down and watch for the entirety of, and that's how I got my rankings. Um,
That's how I rank everything.
I
Even
just
if
I wanted to, I just wanted to make that clear. I'm glad you rank everything like that. So I'll start with number 11. Obviously, I have The Phantom Menace, which I think is the worst Star Wars movie. Um, for some pretty obvious reasons. I think there's really only one redeeming thing about it, and that's the last 20 minutes, and it's not really worth it to me to sit through the rest of the movie. And it's really painful anyway. And if I were to watch the original six movies, I would probably skip it because it offers really no real plot enhancement. It just kind of adds suffering to a screening. Then I'd say Attack of the Clones is next. Just because
can you
you can
guys see my
try.
dog?
Yes, very loudly.
Fuck.
Maybe just mute yourself while I'm talking if you can't get her to quiet down, or him.
Guys, we're probably not going to post this one, so let's just keep talking through for the hour. It seems like until we get everything figured out with audio, we shouldn't post.
Okay, well then maybe guys should get some freaking microphones.
What are you talking about? I've been fine this whole time.
Go. Keep going.
Continue.
I would say Attack of the Clones is next, because realistically, you can say all you want that it's dumb and entertaining in a lot of bad movies kind of rights, but it's also very similar to the Phantom Menace in the fact that it's really painful to watch. I feel like, and it's hard to get through a lot of parts of it, and it just sucks the life right out of you in a lot of ways. Um, and then I'd say Rogue One is number 9, because it's really kind
Fuck
of
you.
boring. It's kind of boring as hell. And it's a slog. I don't care about it, and I think that had they not just killed off all of the characters and had they turned them into some kind of twist, like I heard a theory that it was going to be that they end up becoming the Knights of Ren because their actual appearance in the movie is very similar to the Star Wars lore of the Knights of Ren, and I was actually super excited to see that. And then when they all died at the end, spoiler, it really just kind of killed that for me. And then they kind of never did anything with the Knights of Ren in the sequel trilogy anyway. So
Thomas.
what?
So the reason that you don't really like Rogue One is because, well, it's boring, and that you thought that the main characters of this movie, of the Rebel Alliance trying to get the plans for the Death Star, were going to be the Knights of Ren, and when they weren't that, you didn't like it anymore.
I thought that would have been more exciting than having the most obvious thing happen, which was they all die. And I don't know. The movie had completely lost me at that point anyway. So,
Okay.
Okay.
So
Right.
I think what would be better for the time we have right now is that Thomas give us like a no explanation list, a ranking, worst to best, and if we have any disputes with it, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, I have
Okay,
a
fine.
dispute already. So
All right,
Okay,
fine.
so just list them from the top
We'll
again.
go Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Rogue One, Revenge
Yeah.
of the Sith, Solo, The Rise of Skywalker, The Last Jedi,
oh my god.
A New Hope, The Force Awakens. Oh no, the Return of the Jedi, and then A New Hope, and then The Force Awakens and Empire.
All right.
I tried to give us as
Interesting.
much to talk about as possible.
I did not like that list that you just read off.
I didn't think you would. I had you in mind when I wrote it.
All right. Well, um, what I was thinking we were gonna do here is we would just go one by one down the list. Like for 11. Spencer, if you're talking, you're muted. He's still muted. Um, so my first two, Thomas, they match up with you.
Shit, sorry, I don't know how that happened.
All right, you've been muted for like a little bit, I think.
Sorry. I'm back. I heard all that.
Okay. Well, my last two, or my last two, 11 and 10, are Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, because I agree that
I agree with that too.
they're kind of bad, and the reason why Phantom Menace is worse than the Attack of the Clones, in my opinion, is because Jar Jar's just in it so much.
Yeah,
And
no, everybody.
Yeah.
That's kind of the
hate
consensus.
watching him, and then little fucking Anakin is just so annoying too.
Well, yeah, and also it's also the most soul-crushing one because it was the first one. It was the first one of the prequel trilogy, and that's when everybody realized, oh fuck, Lucas has completely lost it, and this is all gonna suck.
You see,
And
I don't weigh that in my ranking at all because I wasn't alive back then and I didn't have that experience. I can offer my perspective looking back on it, but I don't
Yeah,
think
like I feel like a lot of people hate that movie strictly because they were so disappointed by it. But like I watched that movie, I don't
I
know,
hate it for
like
different
like
reasons.
2008 or 7. Like I just don't I just remember not liking it that much. Like I thought Darth Maul was cool when I was 7, but not now. Well, I still think he's kind of cool, but like I don't.
Well,
No, I said that wrong. I still think he's cool, but I realize that the movie is not that
not
good.
good because of that.
Yeah.
And then Attack of the Clones,
Um,
I thought it was better because it had that one lightsaber fight on Geonosis with the big monsters, and I thought that sequence is pretty entertaining. I
yeah, I
like
mean, Attack of the Clones had its good moments, but like the super forced chemistry between Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman just didn't work
oh,
at
it
all.
is painful.
George
So
Lucas
bad.
is not an actor's director. He is horrible at directing
No,
actors.
he's not.
And so that's why those are my last two. And then my number 9 is Solo. I really do not like Solo.
I know
don't.
you don't.
Okay.
It just
Unfortunately,
felt
I
like
can't weigh in on this because that is the only canonical Star Wars movie I have not seen.
Ah, you coward.
well,
I just don't want to. Like, I
I'll
really
just
don't
say
want to see it.
this.
I've heard no
It's
one say
fire.
this is really good.
It is good.
It is fucking soulless. It is so
Thomas, remind me where you ranked it.
7th. Not high.
Okay.
It's better than Revenge of the Sith and Rogue One to me.
7th
I
is
would-
about where Rogue One would probably fall to me. I
I
like
would-
that movie, but I can't rank it. Well, no, it'd probably be a little. I liked Rogue One.
Solo.
I thought it definitely had its merit.
It was fucking like I just hated the shit. How he meets Chewbacca, and it's like he's in this like pit, and Chewbacca's supposed to kill him, but then they make it out together, and they're all like
They just make out.
they make out, and then at one point he says like, "What's your name?" And then Chewbacca noise, and then he goes, "Chewbacca? That's too long. We're gonna need a nickname. How about Chewie?" And it's like, fuck you. That felt like the end of Fant Four Stick. You know, where they go
Yeah.
say the name and it ends, it's like you gotta wait until Fant Five Stick or whatever they're gonna call the sequel that never happened. But yeah, the fucking Josh Trank, the director of Fant Four Stick, he has a letterboxed page and he has a review of Fant Four Stick, and he gave his own movie 2 stars. He just talked about how it fucking sucked. And
Wow.
yeah, I feel like that sucks. Anyways, after Solo, I put Rise of Skywalker just because it was a bloated mess that J.J. Abrams had to like sham together to finish this without making another movie afterwards. I feel bad for the man because that wasn't his fault.
It wasn't his fault, and I think yes, it was a completely shambled mess, but I think it, for what it was, it completely kept its shit together for the period of time after the first 20 minutes and before the last 20 minutes. And we got some good Star Wars in there, and I
Yeah.
enjoyed myself for that amount of time, and that's why I put it a little higher on my list than you did. I also put it after Solo. But the ending fucking killed me. I hated the ending. It was
The
disgusting.
ending, the ending scene, I thought like there was like a part where I was like laughing. I was almost laughing at the ending because there's the part where it's like, oh, the good guys are all here on this planet and they're fighting the huge fleet of Star Destroyers. And then they're like, the good guys are here. Yeah, we can do this. And then it goes, uh-oh, bad guys are winning. Uh-oh, what's gonna happen? And then the good guys come back and there's a whole fleet of them. Yes, the good guys are winning. And then the Emperor gets like raised powers and then does the force lightning across everyone and he goes, oh no, the bad guys are winning now. And then it like keeps going back and forth like that. And it's like, this is
Abel, you just
horrible.
described the ending of Endgame.
I thought
mean, a
Endgame
little
was real
bit.
fun. And no, Endgame, it was just like the bad guys are here now. And then it's just more and more good guys coming out. That's different.
I do,
That's very
okay,
different.
I do agree that Endgame did it a lot better, but they only did it better because they had so much more buildup. Like
Yeah.
it just felt
Yeah.
like episode 9 was like, oh well, now there's a huge fleet of Star Destroyers for no reason, and now all the good guys who we don't know are just showing up out of nowhere. The
Yeah.
only
So
one,
it's all about
the only people we knew in that fleet of good guys was the Millennium Falcon.
That's
That's
not
it.
true. That's not true. There was that one dude who was in the trench run in A New Hope, and then there
Wedge
was
Antilles, who was
there
in the
was
Millennium Falcon.
and then there was Zuri Bliss.
Oh God.
Don't tell me you don't know who Zuri Bliss is. Zori Bliss. She's Carrie Russell's character, who is friends with Oscar Isaac, Poe Dameron, on that one planet. She helps them out, and then she comes to hang out in the final battle.
Oh, that's right. Okay, that's right. I do
You tell
remember that.
me you forgot about Zori Bliss? The
Maybe if
most
she'd been
beautiful
introduced in
Star
like
Wars.
The Force Awakens, I would remember her. She just looked like Zam Wessel, but
Yeah,
like
I know.
not.
But it's Zori Bliss, dude. She's great.
God. Okay. Continue on your list, Abel.
After Rise of Skywalker, we've got Rogue One. I used to really not like this movie, but then I remembered I rewatched it, and that last scene is pretty fun with the like the whole like the AT-ATs on like the beach. That was really cool.
Yeah, you're right. I
I
I
liked the opening scene, like where they're on the farm and they're attacking like her family and Mads Mikkelsen. Did you know the guy who plays the main bad guy in Rogue One, Ben Mendelsohn? He plays uh he plays Talos, the main bad guy Skrull in Captain Marvel,
Did not know that.
which is also that movie's real good. I really like that character that he has. Skrulls are funny.
I feel like the Scrolls, they're gonna be the next like big event in Marvel.
If they have Secret Invasion, that would be insane.
Yeah, that would be
That would be
so cool.
insane. Oh, I'm just looking right here. I have all my comic books. Like, I only have like seven, but it would be a good time to reread them because I got nothing else better to do. Anyways, after Rogue One, we got Last Jedi. On its own, it's a pretty good movie, but compared to all the other Star Warses, it sucks, and it is the reason why Rise of Skywalker is so bad, which is funny because Ryan Johnson literally made a movie that was so weird and like different for the Star Wars universe that the movie that came after it sucked because of it.
Yes.
I think
yeah.
it's weird.
Well, I mean, if you could admit that as a standalone movie, um it would be watchable, more watchable to you anyway. That's a step up from what I've heard from a lot of people.
Yeah, it's a
Uh,
lot better on its own.
Yeah, and I like the reason why I put it higher than all the other movies I did. It is actually top 5, I guess, which seems wrong, but it still is technically on my list, top 5. Um, it 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 I feel like the way that Ryan Johnson did it, what's the word I'm looking for? Cinematically, I think that he encapsulated, expansively a lot of the Star Wars movie or the Star Wars universe, and I think that he filmed it in a lot like a wider way, and we got to see more scenery, and it was shot just a lot more, with a lot more.
Oh my God. What was that?
I don't know.
What was that?
Well, either way, I just
Me.
it wasn't me. And
I don't know what that was.
yeah, Spencer, you don't know what that was.
All right.
I'm
my
not
number
watching
five-
anything else.
My number 5 is Return of the Jedi. It's fine. It's
Yeah, that's my
it
number
is Return of
4.
the Jedi. It's not crazy, but it's not like bad. Then my number 4 is Empire.
Wow.
It it's it really is like there's not like a whole lot going on until like the end, I feel. But I enjoy it. I really like it. But I just think there are 3 movies that I like watching more, and those 3 are in order: Revenge of the Sith, Force Awakens, and A New Hope.
I
And
can't stand you.
they're all like different reasons why I like them, and it's
Yeah,
because Revenge of the Sith is such a blast. It is so
no.
fun.
No, it's not. I can't stand it. I like the fun space battle, but after that point, it's so goddamn mind-numbingly stupid that it makes me want to
This is
fucking.
coming from the guy who likes Solo.
But it looks worse. It feels worse. The acting is worse. The dialogue is worse. There's so many sitting and talking scenes like there are in all of the prequels. It just feels so much like a prequel movie that I can't get over it. And if you can get over it, kudos to you. If you enjoy watching it, kudos to you. But I can't stand it.
All right.
Along with all the other reasons I can't stand the prequel movies. But I have seen the prequel movies more recently than any of these, and
I just I like the ending fight. It's fun. I
I
like General Grievous. It's fun. I like the scene where
Fun.
Palpatine
can't-
murders Jedi. It's fun. I like it when Anakin murders children. It's fun.
it's
I like
fun.
it when
It's a
Darth
fun.
Vader.
It's a good
Oh,
time. It's a fun
It's a
time.
fun movie. It's just a fun movie. It's fun.
It's
a good.
it's like
fun.
it's the most iconic Star Wars. It's
Hey,
got the
you
most
guys-
imagery.
You guys want to know why the last 3 Star Wars movies didn't work out the way they should have?
Yes, I mean I already know, but
Because Episode 4, 5, and 6, and Episode 1, 2, and 3 all had 3 years in between them, and the Episode 7, 8, and 9 all had 2.
that's not the reason why. But it might play a factor.
I know it's not the reason why.
Force
Okay,
Awakens.
can I give my list now, or did you already give yours?
I'll wrap this up real quick, Spencer. Don't
Okay.
worry. We can keep going for as long as we want. We got all the time in the world. Force Awakens. I thought it was just such a blast watching that in theaters. I remember.
I agree. I saw it 3 times.
I saw it only twice, but I see every Star Wars movie twice in theaters except for Solo, which I didn't watch until like a few months ago, and I was like, this is soulless garbage. And then
Mhm.
New Hope. And yeah, that's my top 11. Spencer, go now.
Go.
Okay.
Now, go.
Because I haven't seen Solo, I omitted it from my list.
So it's
So
number 11.
So yeah, number 11 or just not applicable. 10, I'm going to say Phantom. I think that's the worst. I think we all can agree on that.
11.
I actually this was hard for me, but I actually think Rise of Skywalker is worse than Attack of the Clones.
I
I
hate
see
you.
that. I see that.
I
Yeah,
believe
sure,
that because I think when a Star Wars story is just so like fucked, and both of these were, I rank them based on how cool some of their battle scenes are, and I think Attack of the Clones
Oh,
had a much cooler type of battle scene. in it.
no, I am not letting you get away with that. No.
Yes,
the
it did.
one-
The Geonosis
one-
battle,
no,
the Yoda
no.
battle. Yes.
Oh no, The
Attack of
one
the Clones is
the
a better movie than
one
The Rise of
thing-
Skywalker.
No, the one thing I liked about The Rise of Skywalker is that those lightsaber battles felt like the most Star Warsy lightsaber battles that we have gotten in a while. And it just felt like there were just like actual real believable battles with tension going on instead of CGI puppets flying at each other.
Okay. What battles?
You
Tell me the
wanna-
battles.
wanna-
Tell me what battles you're talking about.
I liked the one with Rey and Kylo on the water one, the water planet, wherever that was. I liked.
Okay.
I haven't seen this movie more than once, so forgive me. It's just what I remember liking the most. I liked the space battles. I liked what they did with the Force every time they used it, which was, really important to me when I watched those movies. Like how fucking stupid or believable they use a Force Deus Ex Machina would be, because they always have one.
Every single
You
one
had
of
a
those.
shit ton in Rise of Skywalker.
Every single one of those new trilogy movies was like, hey, look, this is what the Force can do. It was just different. And then, like, it seems like Rey would just forget what the Force could do
You
in a
guys
situation
remember?
where she might need it.
Do you guys remember that?
I thought it was stupid.
ending
I thought
of
JJ
Rise?
did his best, but it wasn't very good. And I think Attack of the Clones is not much better, but I think it's a better movie. I honestly do. I enjoy it more. I would rather watch it if you gave me the choice. I would rather watch Attack of the Clones right now,
That is
for sure.
I respectfully disagree for just mainly one big reason. I feel like Rise of Skywalker had a lot of really good moments. There was a lot of really good shit in it, and they were better than any of the moments in Attack of the Clones. Both of them aren't good.
Really?
Like the part where like the part at the end where like all the Force ghosts are like talking to her, and I thought that was a cool. I know it's fan service, but I don't care. I like the part where Kylo is fighting the Knights of Ren, but he doesn't have like a lightsaber, and
Oh,
Rey
yes,
and
yes.
she passes it to him through the Force. That was cool as shit.
Yes,
The part
I
where
liked that part a lot.
the part where Han Solo comes back as a ghost and talks to Kylo is super awesome. That was a great scene. The fights were cool, but a lot of it was shitty.
Okay.
Also,
I agree.
just-
I know.
think
I
it was-
completely like this was a difficult choice for me to make, but I'm honestly, when it's down to that close, I'm just like, which one would I rather watch? And I would rather watch Attack of the Clones.
You know what?
I
Here's
just
what I can
wanna-
say about
wanna-
that, Spencer.
Oh,
Spencer,
I am
Here's-
so excited to hear what this is.
Me?
Tell me. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I just want to say about that. I can tell you that starting Attack of the Clones is probably a lot more satisfying to finish at the end because you get disappointed throughout the whole thing, whereas you get one really huge, awful disappointment at the end of The Rise of Skywalker that ruins the entire adventure.
It doesn't ruin
Okay.
the
Well,
entire
I'm
for
gonna
me.
keep going with my list. Number 8, as you guys know, is Attack of the Clones. Number 7, I'm gonna say The Last Jedi. And then number 6, I'm gonna say Rogue One. Number
Mhm.
5, I'm gonna say Revenge of the Sith. Number 4, A New Hope. Number 3, The Force Awakens. Number 2, Empire. And number 1, Return of the Jedi.
I guess the only two parts in that list that I have a stronger disagreements with is I think Rise of Skywalker is a better movie than Attack of the Clones, and I don't think Return of the Jedi is the best Star Wars movie. Not even close.
Say your top 5 one more time.
You want
Revenge
me
of
to
the
say
Sith,
my
A
top-
New Hope, The Force Awakens, Empire, and Return of the Jedi. That's worst to best.
Yeah, dude, I don't know why Return of the Jedi is all the way up there, but other than that, I mean, you have
Some
right to
people
your
just really
opinions.
like it though. Some people.
I
Really
I
just-
like that movie just because I think it has like the best. It has the best balanced ending where there's the fight with Luke and Vader and the Emperor. There's the fight on Endor, and then there's the fight in space where they're destroying the second Death Star. And I think all
Sure.
of them were balanced so well that it was like the best. It's like land battle, lightsaber battle, and space battle, which is like everything that makes up Star Wars happening at the same time. And the ending of that movie makes it like my favorite to me. I feel like no movie did it just quite as well as that.
Sure, I can see that, and especially
I
that
like
it's
to watch that movie.
the ending of the original trilogy. I think there's a lot of value in that because it kind of makes you, if you're watching them in order, of course, sequentially, it will make you
Look at that,
more
an
so.
ending
But
that
it
makes
kind of
sense.
Well, it's
makes
a great
you.
ending.
Yeah, it's a great ending. But the thing is, to me, is that movie, throughout the movie, it feels the clunkiest with the characters. It feels just kind of the least inspired all the way through, and it just feels like the ending of the Star Wars movies more as a movie in its own right.
Okay, I get that, but it felt so well coordinated to me. I admit that all the characters aren't as well used as they could be. Like Han Solo doesn't really do anything in that movie, to be honest.
Neither does. I almost said something stupid. Oh wait, no, I didn't. Boba Fett. That's in that movie.
Well, he
Yes, he
dies.
does.
He
Dies.
I know.
dies.
Yeah, he doesn't do much. He dies. I just
Well,
forgot.
okay, what does
movie
he
it
do
was.
in the previous movie? Like put
Nothing.
Han
He
Solo
doesn't
on a
know.
ship?
He just doesn't do anything the whole time.
I would like
Okay,
to
well
say
you can't
we've been doing
you can't
this
like
for
you can't
half an hour.
grade a movie. Okay, you can't grade a movie based on how much a side character does if they haven't
No,
done anything in the cinematic universe.
I'm not. I'm just saying that the way they made it, I think I just disagree with. I think they could have done a lot more with what they had, and it felt like they were just trying to end the movie or end the saga. And you know what? That comes from having Harrison Ford not even be completely on board with the project. That comes from a
Yeah.
switch of directors. That comes from not having Steven Spielberg direct it, which was George Lucas's first choice, but having I forget who directed it.
I don't remember either, to be honest.
It was
Kirshner, or is that might have been Empire? Richard Marquand
yeah.
did Return of the
I
Jedi.
completely understand why Empire is most people's favorite Star Wars movie. The Battle of Hoth might be the best Star Wars battle
Oh
The
my
Battle
God,
of Hoth,
ever.
but
that
I
was
I like the Battle of Hoth a lot, but I also really like Cloud City, and I really like that whole escape from Cloud City, and I think it's a just
okay. Okay,
an
we could
exciting
Well,
talk
there's no
movie.
Star Wars.
space
We could
battle.
talk
There's no
Star Wars
space battle in Empire. There's no space
years.
battle.
We could talk about this for years, but we have one last segment to do, and
Okay.
we've been talking about Star Wars for the past half hour. I just want to end with this one quote from Harrison Ford that I found funny. You guys might have heard it
Is this
before.
the quote about the Christmas special?
No, it's about they asked USA Today interviewed Harrison Ford and asked him about Han Solo being a Force ghost, and he
Oh
says,
yeah.
"A Force ghost? I don't know what a Force ghost is. Don't tell anyone. I'm not talking loud enough for your recorder. I have no fucking idea what a Force ghost is, and I don't care."
Dude, yeah, he doesn't give a shit. He has no interest in Star Wars.
Have you
That
heard
was
like someone
it was like
someone
a
asked
joke.
him like there was on a red carpet interview someone asked him what would you do if they came to you and asked you to make a Star Wars Christmas special too, and he just says like immediately I would kill myself. Like,
No hesitation.
This makes me just want to watch the Indiana Jones movies.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
those are great. I love the Indiana Jones movies.
I think I'm gonna start rewatching them.
Did you guys know that he had a limo driver for his sets when he worked with George Lucas and when he made the Indiana Jones movies too? He had a limo driver that would take him to and from his sets. And one morning, this was in an interview that he did with his limo driver, but apparently one morning he just came out with a pot that had a bunch of like smoke in it, and he took a fat rip from it. He just opened it up and ripped it because every single morning he had to be completely toasted before work or he just couldn't fucking function, and I guess he couldn't find papers or a fucking bong, so he just like cooked it up in a like pot and put a lid over it and then just ripped it like that in the
Oh
limo.
my god.
Who is this? The limo driver?
No, Harrison Ford in the limo.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that was what I was hearing.
Yeah, no, it was.
Anyways, let's talk about Good Time.
Let's.
Oh yes, good time.
That thing that we watched.
Hold on.
I have to say this movie was incredible.
I have to say,
I liked it.
I hated it with all my heart. No, I'm kidding. I thought it was great.
It's better than Uncut Gems.
I think that what Robert Pattinson did a really good job. First and foremost, just being creepy and unsettling and meth heady.
Yeah, I think he's doing a better job of like finding that role for himself, like this dark guy. I don't know. I really liked him in this movie. It really. I feel like the Safdie movies are just kind of like they're like the movie equivalent of like a coke fueled bender, and it feels like there's like one very specific thing that drives the plot, but just like in Uncut Gems, like this movie had so much happening. Like it's like just when you think like I could not have predicted like any of the plot points in this movie.
I disagree with its unpredictability, but I think that yes, it carries itself very well. It paces itself very well, and it's fun to watch the whole time. You're never bored, and it keeps you going, and it's very gripping, and you feel involved with all the characters and what they're doing.
I just don't see like
hope.
where they come up with the ideas for these movies.
I
Like
just
how do they
really
get
think that
these produced?
They don't make the same movie over and over again anymore because like I just don't want them to do that because this is now two feature-length movies with like actors that kind of need to be redeemed in the eyes of like a lot of people, and they just make them into like good-hearted like the character that they play is a like good at heart person who does a bunch of shitty horrible things to get something done.
See, the thing is, I don't think Howard's a good at heart person in Uncut Gems.
No,
I do.
but I don't think that Connie's a good at heart person in Good Time. I mean, he completely leaves his brother abandoned after.
Well, they're not good at heart, but like they have like it originally started out as a good intentions.
I don't know. The thing about it is, and this goes with my one gripe about the movie, but the thing about the movie really for me was I was very invested in it, but it never felt like it was trying to flesh out a character for me, and that's the only thing I didn't like, because I thought the actors were very good, and I thought the characters were very believable, but it didn't feel like it was trying to give me motivations for them, try and give them backstory at all, and I think that helped the movie in a lot of ways, that there was no expository anything beforehand. The things just happen, and it didn't take time to really bother to explain itself. I thought that helped its pace, but it really didn't help make the characters super deep and fleshed out.
Did you guys like this movie or Uncut Gems better?
This movie.
I liked Uncut Gems
better.
You have not?
I liked Uncut Gems better.
I know I should. I keep forgetting.
I guess I really like both of them, but
I just feel like it was like Good Time. It seemed like it felt like a lot of like what needs to happen next when there wasn't a lot of development of Robert Pattinson's character, and it was just kind of like everything that happens to him in the movie develops his character. But like with Uncut Gems, it felt like you're steadily finding out about Howard by the characters that introduce himself for the debts that he owes them. Like you don't know who this guy is. Like he's this seedy guy, but like as you find out about him based on what he's already done. And I think that all these debtors and these people that come to him like, where's the money right now, Howard? Like you're just finding out what type of guy he is. I just really liked the way they did that because I don't remember ever seeing another movie like that.
Yeah, it's like it's his history, it's his past catching up to him, and we haven't seen the past on the screen, but we're seeing it
exactly
all throughout an entire
movie. We're learning about Howard as he just goes through his daily life, and these plot lines that we haven't seen happen, we have these people coming in and like asking for an update on that, like where's the money, what are you going to do, like his wife and his father-in-law. I don't know. That was definitely one of my favorite movies of last year.
Uncut Gems is like it's like just like shit just keeps going. Like there's just a bunch of like it's way more chaotic than Good Time was. Like there's like 7 different things that he has to take care of at one point in the movie, and it's like insane. Exactly. And then like
it just the way the Safdies do it is they add like one of the most tense scenes in that movie is the scene where Kevin Garnett's like stuck, like he can't get in the door.
Yeah,
and he's just running around the store trying to get KG in. Like just the smallest things are the ways they just add to this tension. Like That
made me
movie made
sweat
me
so much, dude.
it made me nervous about things happening in my life watching it. Like it was so. Oh, I really liked that movie.
I have to say, Good Time. Like I'm still like processing it, but at this point, I'd say it's better just because like I don't know, it's set up like a clear like okay, here's what happens at the beginning. They rob this bank and it goes wrong, and
Yeah,
then
you have his brother who's mentally
that's
challenged is in prison.
motivation. Did you know that I'm sure you guys noticed this, but the guy who plays his brother is one of the Safdie brothers.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw that
I
in the
remember seeing
credits,
that
and I
because it
thought that
was
was
I
yeah.
He
I
does a great
assumed
job.
that's who it was because the I saw when I saw it on Netflix that like one of the credited actors, the second one was Benny Safdie, I think,
Yeah,
and I just was like, okay, it's probably Connie, or that's not his name. Connie's the Rob Pattinson
Nicholas.
character.
I
Yeah,
guess I really liked Good Time a lot more. Not a lot more. It's very like it's not like these are two movies that like one is just way better than the other. They're like very similar level. But
yeah,
I think it was interesting that characters would come in to the plot for like 10, 15 minutes and then they're gone and they never come back. And it's like that's interesting. And then like there's
is it
just tons
like the woman he convinced on the bus?
yeah, like
Yeah,
after
yeah,
she goes to bed you don't see her again. And
that's
then
true.
Yeah.
you hang out with her like granddaughter for a bit until they
But
go into
yeah.
the theme park and then
Well,
you
but then
see
after
her
she goes to
after you
jail,
get
yeah, you don't see her ever.
and
Yeah.
I thought it was just real interesting how it was just like one guy he does like he has one goal get money
Oh,
and then it's just
yeah.
like here's
And
all
and
this
the other
crazy
thing,
stuff that happens and then he has to like he's like all right well now I have to do this to get this to do that and then to get that and then I get the money and then I can get my brother out of jail
like
and
I
the
agree
one.
with that. I think it's like a good style of filmmaking to have side characters only only serve the plot and only serve one character's arc. And I think
Yeah,
that's exactly what happened in this movie.
yeah. My favorite was the fact that he calls his girlfriend, like the person that we all believe to be his love interest, the one he's going to take this trip with, the one he could almost
oh
be
my
trying to set
god
his life
I
straight for.
forgot about
No, but he calls her and says, "Pick me up," and then we don't hear from her the rest of the movie. He
yeah
completely blows her off. She probably showed up to that woman's house at 5 a.m., tried to call back on that phone. I'm sure that the grandma and her had an awkward conversation at 6:30 in the morning or 5:30 in the morning or whatever it was. Like, hey,
or
I was told
was
to
it
call
her
this phone
phone
back.
was it
Well, it was the
the
grandma's phone.
daughter's the granddaughter
It was the
which one of their
grandma's phone.
okay.
I
Yeah,
remember.
it's just like a mess that happens later on, but like he doesn't care because he needs to focus on what's happening right now, and then he doesn't set up for the future, and then what do you know? He gets arrested.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
dude. And dude,
Guys,
when they used that bottle of acid to like
Oh my
solve their
god, dude!
problems,
When I
that was
saw that when they
insane.
do it on the Captain Phillips dude, I was like,
Yeah,
oh my
yeah.
god, are you really doing that? That's horrible. That is
That's what they could have
horrible.
just
the
splashed
Captain
it on.
Phillips dude.
Yeah, he was
They
in
could have
Captain
literally just
Phillips.
Yeah,
splashed it on his skin and it would have done the same thing. That's horrible.
That was so much acid too, dude.
That was probably like
He's going to he's going to be hospitalized, bro.
forever.
He's gonna be like out for like weeks.
Tripping for a month.
All right.
All right.
all right. Well, I have to go, unfortunately.
Well,
But
we're already way
I
over
think we
time,
had some
but
very good
it was a good
conversation
time.
today.
All right, that was
So this
our
has been Dudes
podcast.
Making Thoughts.
Dudes making things
Bye,
to discuss
guys.